What is going on, guys? The NBA betting market video for December 31st. Happy New Year's Eve to everybody watching. We're going to start off with the 3 p.m. Eastern time game. There's 1,361 bets on the Cavs Pacers. The Pacers opened up as 8-point favorites. They are still currently at 8-point favorites. The juice is pushed up from minus 105 to minus 108, and 57% of bets are on the Pacers. However, 72% of the money is on the Cavs, even though that line hasn't moved. So it's something interesting to keep your eye on with the Cavaliers as 8-point underdogs. Line hasn't moved despite 72% of the money being on the Cavaliers. As far as the money line goes, Pacers opened as minus 332 favorites. They've been bet down to minus 317. 98% of early bettors are on the Pacers. And for the OU in this game, opened at 218. It's been bet up to 219 with slight juice on the over at minus 107. 55% of bettors and 59% of the money is on the over. There's not a lot to talk about on that OU market. And then on to the 5 p.m. Eastern time games, 1,134 bets so far on the Bulls-Wizards. The Wizards open as 5.5-point favorites. They've been bet up to 6.5-point favorites, and they have received 65% of bets and 98% of the money. So not a lot to say there. The line's moved up just a small amount for the Wizards, and the money and the bet percentage is public, and the money is on the Wizards. Onto the money line, the Wiz open at minus 224. They've been bet up to minus 257 with 79% of bets being on the Wizards. So public is on the Wizards against the spread and the Wizards money line. And then the OU for that game opened at 236. It's been bet up to 237. 56% of bets are on the over. However, 78% of the dollars wagered so far has been put on the under. On to Sixers Magic. Sixers open as 2.5-point favorites. They've been bet up to 3.5-point favorites. 47% of bets have been on the Sixers, and 99% of the money has helped push that line up from 2.5 to 3.5 for Philly. The money line as well, Philly open minus 135. They've been bet up to minus 155 with 55% of bets. So pretty much spot on as far as the money line and the bet percentages on both sides for the money line. And then the OU 217 is what it opened at. It's been bet up to 220, and 70% of bettors have put money on the over. So there looks like there has been a lot of bets and a lot of money put on the Philadelphia 76ers early in this game. On to the Kings Rockets. Kings Rockets opened at, there's 1,248 bets. The Rockets opened as 3.5-point favorites. They've been bet up to 5.5-point favorites with 58% of bets and 93% of the dollars wagers. So that line moving in sync with the bet percentages and money percentages from 3.5 to 5.5. Money line, though, is a little bit different. It's interesting to see that only 37% of bettors have taken the Rockets anywhere from minus 175 up to minus 210. However, 99% of the dollars wagered are on the Rockets to win. And then for the OU, it opened at 229, and it's been bet up to 232. 84% of bets are on the over. However, 70% of the money is on the under. That's interesting to note for that Kings-Rockets game. And then on to the Knicks Raptors. The Raptors open as 8.5-point favorites, bet up to 9.5, 51% of bets and 97% of the money. So public slightly on the Raptors, but there has been more money placed on the Raptors than the Knicks, and it has helped push the line up from 8.5 to 9.5. As for money line, Raptors open minus 385. They've been bet up to minus 439. 82% of bets have been placed on the Raptors to win that game, and the line has pushed up accordingly from 385 to 439. The OU has stayed at 217, despite 62% of bets being on the over and 78% of the money being on the under. The second last game before the new year is the Pelicans Thunder. There's only 567 bets so far on this game. Pelicans opened as 4.5-point favorites. They've been bet up to 5.5-point favorites with 53% of bets. Unfortunately, we don't have the money percentages for that spread. Onto the money line, where the Pelicans open minus 206, and they've been bet up to minus 210. 62% of bettors on the Pelicans. Not much to talk about on the money line market. And then the OU open at 214. It's been bet up to 216, despite 71% of the money being on the under and 54% of the bets being placed on the under, anywhere between 214 and 216. And the final game of the day, 1,059 bets on the Suns Jazz. Jazz opened as 4-point favorites. They still are 4-point favorites. The juice hasn't moved too much. 39% of bets have been put on the Jazz, but 83% of the dollars wagered have been put on the Jazz, which is interesting to note. The money line has moved in the Jazz favor from minus 152 up to minus 162, despite 80% of the money being put on the Suns money line. And then the OU for this game is 218. It's been bet up to 220. 51% of bettors are on the under, and 88% of the money is on the under, which is interesting considering that OU has moved up from 218 to 220. All right, guys, that's it. Short and sweet this week, or today, sorry. I'm so used to the NFL videos. But short and sweet today for the NBA betting market. Good luck to you guys in your wagers, and see you in 2021.